Hi, and welcome back to Armed Dad. Well, today on our Freedom Friday, I've got something interesting to talk to you about regarding President Donald Trump. Now, the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, was recently asked about if there's any concealed carry reciprocity nationwide act coming along. Anyway, let's cut to that clip real quick and show you what she says. Okay?
I went around the room. Oh, no, one more in the back.
All good. So we know President Trump has been a champion for the 2A ever since he got into office, both times. My question is, do we see anything, is there any ongoing efforts for national reciprocity so we can carry in all 50 beautiful states?
This is something the president talked about on the campaign trail for sure. We need Congress to do it. But the president will always support our law-abiding gun owners, and as you mentioned, is a ardent supporter of the Second Amendment. It's more important now than ever as we see violent crime rates in our inner cities. I've said this repeatedly over the past 4 years. The Second Amendment was never more important than when we had an illegal immigrant crime epidemic spiking in this country. Law-abiding Americans have a constitutional right to defend themselves, and the president absolutely supports that. But to national reciprocity, we do need Congress's help on that one. So.
Well, that sounds really great, doesn't it? Sounds like we're moving forward. Sounds like Trump has the Second Amendment in line. But there was something that the man that asked the question said, and he said that Trump was both times that he's been president has been a champion for the Second Amendment. I just want to hold up one time because I know everybody's getting excited about hearing this, but let's cut to this clip of 7 years ago from President Donald Trump.
Nancy Cordes.
I'm not into popularity. I'm into getting something done that's good.
President Trump scrambled the partisan divide on guns today, siding with Democrats on dramatically expanding background checks and raising the purchasing age for semi-automatic weapons.
It doesn't make sense that I have to wait till I'm 21 to get a handgun, but I can get this weapon at 18. I don't know. So I was just curious as to what you did in your bill. You don't address
we didn't address it, Mr. President. Look, I think
why? Because you're afraid of the NRA, right?
Pennsylvania Republican Pat Toomey.
My reservation about it, frankly, is that the vast majority of 18, 19, and 20-year-olds in Pennsylvania who have a rifle or a shotgun, they're not a threat to anyone. They're law-abiding citizens.
President Trump also clashed with Republicans, including recent shooting victim Steve Scalise, when they argued gun owners need the right to carry concealed weapons across state lines.
These are people, by and large, who are helping us stop crimes. These are people who are well-trained, who actually go out there and help prevent crimes.
I'm with you, but let it be a separate bill. You'll never get this passed. If you add concealed carry to this, you'll never get it passed.
He was less enthused about a ban on assault rifles.
You know, the problem, Diane, is that these aren't where you walk into a store and buy. These are where somebody hands you a gun and you hand them
Oh, no,
some
you
money.
go into a store and you can buy an AR-15.
You can.
You can buy a Tech 9. I mean, you can buy all these weapons.
Those weapons, he argued, should have been confiscated from the Florida shooter, even if it meant skirting the law.
The police saw that he was a problem. They didn't take any guns away. Now, that could have been policing. I think they should have taken them away anyway, whether they had the right or not.
And Nancy.
See, now, don't fault me for pointing out the reality of the situation. This is the same man 7 years ago, siding with the Democrats. Donald Trump, in both terms, has not been an advocate for the Second Amendment to the extent that they're trying to make it claim that he is, okay? Don't get me wrong. We've seen some solid good things come so far from the Trump administration, which is great, and I'm excited for it. I'm glad that we're moving in the right direction, but I'm not going to get head over heels and crazy and turn him into this magical Leopleurdon, because it's a magical Leopleurdon, Charlie. He's going to show us the way. Donald Trump simply was not 100% on the side of the Second Amendment in his first run in office. He also might still not be 100% on the Second Amendment. It's not a popularity contest to him. He likes to get results done. He's said that multiple times. So this might be the issue that's helping him now, but is it 100% his choice? Is this 100% him making these moves? No, I think he's got a great staff for the Second Amendment. We could see some positive things come that way, but he hasn't always had those views. And to sit around and think that that man just has always been that way blows my mind. And don't think that I'm knocking on anything he's done recently or that his office has done recently or that we've seen come down the way. I'm not. I'm just wanting to put it into perspective for you guys so you don't get all crazy and up in arms and happy and excited that Donald Trump is a Second Amendment advocate. He wasn't always that way. You see in the second clip how he talks about wanting to change the limit of the age for, because he doesn't understand how you got to be 21 to go buy this pistol here, but you can walk into a gun store at 18 and you can buy these assault rifle things. He was just as bad at that point. He also talked about concealed carry reciprocity. He told them, you're never going to get it passed with that. Don't put that in there. That's not going to blah, blah, blah. He wanted to strengthen that. Okay. And he agreed with him on strengthening it, but he told them, don't put it in there because you'll never get it passed if you put that in there now. So he was helping the Democrats pass these laws. And yet we're going to sit here and you want me to pretend that he's always been a champion for the Second Amendment? He has not. And I'm not knocking the guy. I'm not putting down any of the new work that's been going on or any of the big changes that we've seen or the good things that we have seen come for the 2A community. I just want to keep this in perspective for you guys. Quite frankly, in my opinion, Donald Trump has not always been an advocate for the Second Amendment. And it's obvious. It's there. That's not a deep fake. That's not a dubbed over. That's not me making him look bad. That's really what he did. I remember that first run of presidency, and there was a lot of things in the Second Amendment that Trump would talk about that I didn't agree that he should be doing. He didn't seem very pro-2A. He might have done a few things to help out the people that own firearms, but he really didn't advocate like they're trying to make it sound like he's always been this advocate for the Second Amendment. He hasn't. And I get it. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be mad at me for saying this. And go ahead, be mad at me. Say that, oh, you're talking about Trump, he's doing great things, you don't know what you're talking about. I do know what I'm talking about. Because we have had some things come on. But let's keep it in perspective. Let's not get all happy-go-lucky about one man who we think's going to save the planet and everybody on it's going to be happy because we're just going to follow him to the end of the world. And understand that we need to take it as a perspective too. Just because he does a lot of good things that people enjoy does not mean that everything he's ever done or everything he ever will do is going to benefit the Second Amendment or any of those other things for that matter. Okay? It's a bit wishy-washy to me to, from the first term, talk to the Democrats about how we should change the age so that you have to be older to buy an AR-15 and, you know, taking and not allowing people to carry guns across state lines would be a good idea, but you shouldn't put it in the bill because you'll never get that bill passed if you do that. He's straight up asking, oh, you know, you're not going to, it's because you're afraid of the NRA. That right there should tell you what you need to know. He was on their side for those things. And yet, I've heard a lot of people lately talk about how great Donald Trump is for the Second Amendment, and he's always been that way. No, he hasn't. Now, granted, I am happy with what has been going on. We do have some great people in offices that are going to be able to make some moves, but I'm not going to get overly excited until I see some actual things come of it. Because let's be honest, I don't care whose side of the fence you sit on, not everybody's going to be perfect. And not everybody's going to do the things that we want them to do. And getting all behind one side or the other just because you agree with a few of their things doesn't mean you have to be on board for everything they say. Remember that. So forgive me for being a little skeptical that Trump is really going to push for these things and really going to make these things happen. If I'm being honest, I just don't see it based on how he was 7 years ago. People don't change that much in their beliefs in a few years. Unless, of course, they need the voters. Anyway, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I just want to give you guys plenty of information here because I'm calling bullshit on that Donald Trump has always been an advocate for the Second Amendment. There has been plenty times in his first presidency where we've seen him make decisions and do things and say things that were, quite frankly, a bit anti-Second Amendment. And if you don't want to see that and you want to put your blinders on, feel free to bash me in the comments. Not going to hurt my feelings. I like to keep both eyes open and pay attention to what's going on completely and not just look at the thing in front of me and go, ooh, shiny object. Now, hopefully what was said in the original clip where they talked about how he would love to get the concealed carry reciprocity across the states done, does get moved forward. And we do see something like that happen, because the fact that we can't bear our arms wherever the hell we damn well walk still blows my mind, since it is a constitutionally protected right. But we might be making positive steps towards the Second Amendment being a lot more open. I just don't want everybody to get all excited about this, because it's not set in stone. It could or couldn't happen. And quite frankly, I'm quite sick of hearing people telling me that he's just going to magically fix it, or he's going to do great things, when my first impressions of him was that he wasn't very strong on the Second Amendment as far as protecting it. So, we'll see. Anyway, I apologize if I hurt your feelings. I really don't care, because I'm just giving you the facts and the information. But you need to be well aware of all of it, and not just the little bit and piece you want to pay attention to right now. So, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching the video. Hit that subscribe button. And if you want to stay connected and be able to get notifications the next time I drop a video on a Monday or a Friday, since I drop them on each, hit the notification button. That'll let you know. Go ahead and like this video if you've made it this far and you understand what I'm saying, or you agree with me. Even if you hate what I said, hit the like button. Or throw a comment in. Go ahead. Call me an ass for what I'm saying. But I'm not wrong. Anyway, you can also follow along for more content at armeddad.yt on Instagram. So, take away from this, I hope that what was said is 100% on the table. I hope that he has made a big, massive mindset change, and that is why we're seeing these people put into these offices that could make these changes, and we're hearing a lot of talk and a lot of good things coming for the Second Amendment. I really hope that is the way we're moving. However, until I see the results, I'm not 100% sold on that it's going to happen, because if history tells us anything, history tends to repeat itself. So, thank you for watching the video, and until next time, keep the ATF away from your dog. See you guys later.
We spoke about states taking steps, but the focus is to literally give families and give local law enforcement additional tools if an individual is reported to be a potential danger to themselves or others. Allow due process so that no one's rights are trampled, but the ability to go to court, obtain an order, and then collect not only the firearms, but any weapons in the possession
Or
of that
might
individual.
take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system. Because a lot of times, by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms. They saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.